Hi, welcome back to Soulful Ministries and Outreach. I'm Henriette Hobson. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the ministries here. No more Jim Crow, the garden ministry, the craft ministry, and all that we do. Well, praise you, Jesus. There's so much, like I always say, and it is true, so much going on. This whole situation, I wanted to bring up again about the young man that actually did the shooting. And I think, it's really pretty terrible that there's not more said to give condolence to his family. They did not necessarily want or have anything to do with this young man doing what he did. The young man, his classmates had said something about him being, just kind of a loner, bullied a lot, and felt and experienced a lot of rejection. Now, we all have had some form of rejection or another in our lives one time, even if you were the most popular person ever. There's some form of rejection that comes in our lives at some time, and it's not a good feeling. And if you are a young uh, kid, adolescent, teenager, and adult, going through school is tough. Those are hard years. We're trying to figure out who you are, fit in, how you're gonna fit in, being liked, and if you're different, being rejected and bullied. That is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Everybody's not a rough rider, they're not brawlers and fighters. They just don't, I don't care what you are, male or female, doesn't matter. Some people are, and some people, a lot of people, most people don't want a lot of confrontation, you know, um, and getting in the middle of, physical altercations. Even if you can hurt back, you can fight back physically. People don't fight physical anymore like they used to. It's all about weapons. But the likelihood of something going really wrong, even in a, what we call fist fight, tempers fly. You're trying to, survive out there in the middle of an altercation, and somebody ends up getting either life injuries or death. Both people's lives are affected, no matter what happens. And back to this young man, he'd been suffering with that rejection and harm and hurt for a long time. And as he began to grow up, I mean, I'm just hypotheticaling all of it because nobody really knows. Maybe not even his parents. A lot of times people don't talk to their parents when they should. Everybody's parents, and I'm not saying this about his parents because I don't know them at all or ever heard anything about them, uh, even want to talk about it or know how to talk about it. And even when you do, that does not mean it solves the issue within the person that you're trying to console. Uh, the father took on his Second Amendment rights and purchased this weapon. How the young man got the weapon, nobody knows. He was 20 years old. If they didn't have a signal of something wrong, then they may not have felt like they needed to keep this thing away from him, keep all firearms and everything away from him, or what have you. Now, he had, from what they said, in his apartment, in his vehicle, what have you, many more um, weapon type items, an arsenal of things, of things. And so, you know, for him to, if he was really trying to, you know, he must have felt like he was doing something good. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but that's the way people think when you're not thinking straight. And thinking that he's helping the country by maybe eliminating what he saw as a problem. That's not the way to handle it. It's what we don't seem to understand, that when people are eager to take someone else's life, cause trouble to someone else, that trouble is not isolated to that one person. A whole family and whatever friends that they have, people that care about them, are affected as well. When January 6th happened, did a lot of people get affected? Oh, absolutely. It was horrible. A woman lost her life. Everyone that was in the building was affected in one way or the other. You think about your workplace being invaded like wild animals climbing up walls and things, busting in, ripping. I mean, really. And then, they're coming in hunting for particular people, calling them by name to want to hang them and hurt them. Then they come in with weapons and intent to kill, defecating and urinating all over the place and smearing it all over the walls and things. See, they didn't talk about that enough. We're dealing with evil on a level that is, you can't be soft with this. You can't be, oh, well, now. No. And that's exactly what they did. People running for their lives. People didn't go to jail. They should have gone to jail. What black people, since this is a platform that is very concerned about black Americans, don't seem to understand that when you get in a mess like that, joining in with that kind of mess, take a look at what happened to the black people that were charged and sentenced. They got larger and longer sentences than anyone else. Do you really think they like you and care about you just because you're joining in with something crazy that they're believing in? They just treat you worse. And you don't find that out until you're sentenced and you're behind some bars. This young man's parents are grieving in so many ways. They found out that this young man had these, just where he was in his mind. He was trying to be a hero, just totally warped in his thinking. His parents are without their child. I don't care if he's a grown man or not. People are looking at them now, or ignoring them, a little of both. May even be some guilt. Well, maybe if I hadn't bought that weapon, or maybe if it, Then, I just thought it was the most horrible thing to keep the camera on that young man laying on that metal roof with the blood draining down the roof from his body where he had passed away up there. That was the saddest thing ever. It was so inhumane. This is the kind of stuff we're talking about, not thinking about anybody else but yourselves. How horrible not to be considerate of those parents and his family and people that cared about him. Yes, he got his just due for the life that he took of another man just by really accident. I don't think he intended, seemed like he intended to hurt anyone else in the crowd. If he was going to do that, he would have been spraying that crowd and a whole lot of people would have been harmed. And so there's a family without their father and husband and son and relative. That's horrible. He was one of our first responders once. It's all bad. Then there's a man that was wounded but not, didn't take his life. So when we think about doing things like that in retaliation, maybe maybe he felt like this is the only heroic and thing for me to do to make myself feel like I'm somebody important or doing something good. He felt like, it sounds horrible even just coming out of my mouth, but that's the way the range people think. And he thought he was, solving a problem, which didn't do anything but create, my goodness, so many more. Then you have the Secret Service. They're jumping down the throats of the Secret Service, having a lot of negative things to say about them. Let me tell you something. The Secret Service was all over him. You don't know what directions he may have given them what to do. Don't be right up on the stage with him. Don't, or whatever. We don't know. What we do know is once shots rung out, they were on it. They were on enough. They wanted to know why someone was not on that other building over there. Well, first of all, how did this guy slip through the cracks? Well, just give him my little hypotheticals, like everyone else. He was in fatigues, which was like I think the National Guard or whatever was there in their fatigues. So you kind of blended in, people not sure, not quite. Like the Secret Service guy said, he said, we have to assess the situation. You just don't go shooting people. That's the way it's supposed to be done. And someone had already gone up there and approached this, was handling it, but was handling it with not enough caution. Thank God he didn't get killed. So when he, from what it said, what we're getting on television is that when he got the attention of the guy up on the roof is on a slant. He approached him without having his gun drawn, I guess, or he may have had it in his hand or not, but it startled him when this guy, he must not seen the gun the guy had. I don't know. But when he drew the gun on him, he fell back, in him being startled. And then the guy immediately, without any extra warning, started just firing. Well, then the Secret Service, I mean, everything was happening. These people think with a humane training, not just start shooting people and then find out they didn't do that was what it was all about at all. Once the danger was clear, they took him out. They knew they were on that roof over on where they were and could take anyone out within range of that roof, of their fire power. And they did so. They're gonna have to fight their own battles, of course. They're to be commended that because you don't know how they really feel about guarding this man. You may think that they're all, Republicans and feel the same about everything as Donald Trump does. That's not necessarily so. Their job, just like the Supreme Court's job, is supposed to be non-biased. Doesn't matter, have anything to do with political view or what have you. Your job is, and you do what that job is. But our Supreme Court is even falling apart. There's two women on there, Ketanji and I forget the lady's name right now, that are true, reasonable, sensible people that are handling themselves worthy of that position. The others are playing games with politics, and that is not in the oath. They're swearing not to do that, and they're doing everything but what they swore. They need to clean it out and leave just the two women that voted as they should and handle themselves as a Supreme Court judge, because there's a lot of power given to them that no person should be given that kind of power that they have made this rule about a president has now, uncontested, that the two ladies voted with much sense, much wisdom, and said this is wrong. They have seen what a person, if they're left alone to themselves, the Bible talks about it. Leave a man to his own senses, and he will mess it up. I'm just paraphrasing, of course. He's gonna mess it up, and he's gonna find himself, give him too much power, and see what happens. That's the average usual man. There's even some man that say that he's a Christian, a woman. Because today people are not holding themselves to any standards. It's just willy-nilly do whatever you want. Oh, I don't have to. What happened to constraint? What happened to what God said? Oh, Lord have mercy. What happened to being grateful to God for what he's done for you? So, it's a lot of talk going on about this, what happened. Secret Service is going to come back. They clapping back already like, don't, not doing that to us. We're going to explain ourselves this time. And it's like, far as I'm concerned, Donald Trump should not even have Secret Service. The taxpayers' money should not be paying for him to have Secret Service. I don't care if he used to be a president, had that title or not. The man betrayed the country. He has stacked the Supreme Court in his favor, got people in there that have no integrity, and that will do whatever he tells them to do. He already said he wants to be a dictator. It's just a slew of things. The whole entire 4 years says no. The man was a traitor. Now they've dropped the case on the files and things. This is bad for America. We need to pray. I mean, seriously pray for an intervention from God. Because this man should never be in office again. When he comes in, if he were to be in office again, he's coming in talking violence and, let's get him. His own people. Dictator, day one, he says. Don't you think that this little thing that happened did anything for him? No. Mm-mm. No, don't even. Absolutely not. He hasn't changed. No. It takes Jesus for you to change. The way he had his head cocked up to the side like that, like he purposely posed for it. There's some things I can't even imagine how anything could have been set up. But I know that more things have been set up over time that, people just could not even have imagined that it was. Then they want to say the Secret Service was somewhere. I just heard something just a minute before I came on. That the Secret Service was purposely not trying to cover him properly. These people risk their lives. They're really heroes. After the gunfire stopped and they went to try to and these women, they were on it. And then somebody saying something stupid like they're fumbling their weapons or whatever. They are in a heated situation. They are trying to figure out what to do, how to protect this man. Better to have the weapon in hand than in the holster if something goes down. Whether she could get it in her holster, they were on it. They were body shields. And people had a nerve to say something negative about them. These women were braver than any man. Because if something had popped off, something else had popped off, if it was another shooter somewhere, their bodies were the ones that were the shields for Donald Trump. Along with the other men, of course, but I'm just in particular with these women. Somebody had something negative and very cruel to say. They did their jobs. I bet you whoever it was and that would say something about that, you wouldn't find them standing there giving their life for them. And even if they did, the training these women have, the dedication that they have, knowing the kind of person that he is, it takes a lot to put your life on the line, even though you know this man would take somebody out if he could himself. So, it's just so much, going on, and we really, really need to be, they're calling for peace and unity. Don't you believe for 1 minute it's real, true unity from the Republicans. They still have commercials on that are talking this craziness, negative stuff. They're not stopping. They're not stopping. Donald Trump is going to pretend like he's toning it down just for a moment. Let me tell you something. It is all to get what he wants. Like, he jumped up when he was, fight. And he also said the other F word, too. They turned the mic down. And this man is all about him. He knows it's all a show for him. Everything is, he's on the stage, he's in a play. And He's not caring about whether those people that are out there risking their lives for him. You know what that fight mean? And the other F word, it was about fight for him. He wants the prize in the end. That's all he cares about, is that he gets that prize. He's going to put on a little show and show, little tiny sympathy here and there. All of it is a show. The man has a heart of steel. He can't see beyond himself. Nobody but Jesus can give you a heart of flesh. He didn't change, over. I don't care if he was down. Yeah, he was down. Some of the biggest witches and what have you will pray when it gets to the place of their life. Or they want to make it look like it. There's a whole lot of things that can be going on here. Just don't be fooled. Don't put your guard down and believe anything on the other side has changed. There's nothing perfect in either party. This shooter was a Republican. They trying to put it all on Democrats. We didn't have anything to do with this one. They're trying to throw it all on us. This tells you the mentality of these people. So do not trust them. And it's anything but their fault. With all the horrible things that they're doing to ruin the fiber of America. Without the blood of Jesus washing your sins away and cleansing you, and you yielding totally, that's the only way you're going to get that, is you're going to totally yield to Jesus and accept all of him. No changes happen. That's denying yourself is what that's about. You got to deny yourself. We had, this was like really a ritual. A life was sacrificed, 2 lives. Blood was shed. Satan is involved in all of this. Just know that. Christians for sure. Keep your eyes, ears, your head, your on swivel, as they say, your spirit. Be in the forefront. Don't look at the people and the parties and no. Listen to the Lord and what he has said about things. Let the Holy Spirit bring guidance to you. Because without it, this is just a muddled up mess. And it's all confusing because people are lying left and right. So, Black Americans, don't back down. Go to those polls and vote for Biden. Do not let Donald Trump get in office. America may never recover if he gets in office. It's going to be such a horror and bloodshed. I mean, what came to mind, I'm not saying this is a prophecy or anything to come in, but, Armageddon with the blood just running. We're talking bloody. Like he said, if I don't get voted in, it's going to be a bloodbath. He was speaking that in existence. That's what he wants. Then he exaggerated it as soon as his ear was hit, and a trickle of blood had 3 little fingerprints on 3 little fingers on his hand, little spots, and the blood, what little blood came out of the gristle of your ear, trickled down the side of his face, and they just turned that into a whole entire portrait of heroism, like George Washington in the boat. I mean, it's crazy. It's unbelievable. And he goes, it was lots of blood. Woo! Listen. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. The man was a crook in the real estate business in everything he has ever done. The golf courses, he's went over to Scotland, took all the people's land and then messed with their homes and views and never completed. I mean, just stuff collapsing and falling and bankrupt. I mean, just horrible. Then he gets in the office and turns America upside down. We can't let it happen. We've got to pray, 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 and vote, 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 vote. And yes, we must have unity. Yes. But it can't be one-sided. Because see, when they're saying unity, they're not talking about unifying with what real unity is. It's like we're still going to hate the black American and treat them bad and look down on them as second class or whatever. We're still going to look down on whatever other race we're going to deal with, want to you put underfoot in our minds, in our fantasy their fantasy that they have to make themselves feel better. That's not changing, and without that, you don't have any unity. We are the fabric of America. Black Americans are. Unity with us, you're blessing yourself. No unity with us, it's going to constantly be a battle, always. Always. So, just wanted to, just bring that out. And I'm running past my time, so we're going to go now, but let's continue to pray fervently. See you next time.